Hi everyone, my name's Estanie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a variety streamer, artist, and voice actress. And today we are going to be checking out the demo for Titanium Court. And I had just finished telling chat this, and chat's still there. Hi, chat. But I just finished telling everyone that this is one of the demos that I started to play off stream, and then I immediately closed this one and said I have to stream it. So we're starting with it because it's very, very intriguing. I'm going to try to stop playing it after an hour just so we can get through, just so we can get through as many demos as possible. Because I feel like this is one that I could get sucked into. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this save because we need to start over so you can see the beginning. A man steps onto a stage and taps a microphone. Oh, I should preface this by saying, this is a match 3 game with a twist. A man steps onto stage and taps a microphone. Good evening! Before we begin the game, there are a few announcements. First, due to unexpected circumstances, the part of the player will be performed by an understudy. Hey, that's me. A couple of audible groans and one muffled boo erupt from the audience. Now, there's no need for that. This kid may not be a star yet, but I've seen her rehearse and I can guarantee that she'll impress you. She may not have had time to memorize any of her lines, but, well, neither have any of you, the audience laughs. Second, we'd like to warn you that this production features a significant amount of obscenity. But before all the parents in the audience begin covering their children's ears, know this. This stage is enchanted such that the obscenities can only be heard by those of sufficient emotional maturity to handle hearing them. And finally, the writing room would like to issue an apology for failing to complete the script before this performance. They are working on it as I speak, so it is my pleasure to announce that tonight's performance is also a race. Who will win? The writers furiously working to finish the script or the performers attempting to perform it? I can't answer that question, but I can announce that the race begins now. Oh, I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, Golden. I don't believe we have any factory or train games in my Next Fest selection this time. Where should you start? You were walking through the woods when the world around you shattered. This was both alarming and inconvenient. Isolated on a lone stretch of ground, you were transfixed as the broken landscape began to rearrange itself. I think it's a little bit noisy. Hold on, can I? Your eyes followed trees and hills collapsing in lines of 3, as if the forest you knew were not becoming carefully untangled. You dared not move from your position, as the ground beneath your feet quivered in anticipation of shattering further. You passed the time this way for who knows how long. Until the court slid into view. Hi, Saint. Thank you so much for the 46 months. At first, you weren't sure you could trust your eyes. But there it was, a great shining structure among the roiling landscape. Something stable and enclosed. A shelter. You kept your eyes on it, hoping it would draw close enough that you might peer inside its windows. Surprisingly, the court appeared to be able to move freely through the broken landscape, disregarding the lines of 3 as it approached your position. meep. And, just as it came near, the shattered landscape lurched. With little warning, the forest snapped back together as if someone had pulled the knot of reality tight once again. Except, by now, it wasn't the forest you knew. It was hardly even a forest. You stood, stretched, and began the hike towards the court. Ooh, it's got health. And we've got resources? Wild. Later, while the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. Hoping to avoid any attention, you sought out a more isolated part of the hall. An empty table near an exit where no one would pay you much mind. A sound plan, except... The hall was soon overflowing with people, and your table was no exception. The young man seated to your right began engaging you in idle conversation. The weather, how you found the meal, the role of the individual in a society, how you preferred to make your bed, those sorts of subjects. Eventually, he inquired about how you came to arrive at the court. Which answers my question quite thoroughly, while raising many more, he says as you conclude your tale. But forgive me, you haven't actually finished your story, have you? You admit that there is a bit more, though you have yet to make sense of it. The people within the court were earnest, but odd. After your arrival, you attempted to get some answers about your whereabouts and the strange circumstances outside, except they spoke mostly in riddles and nonsense, didn't they? They did. Let's find out where you are. A woman in a helmet doing her taxes at a picnic table. A man resting in the shade of a wall. A pair in front of a blackboard discussing magic. Or a small cat bathing in the sun atop the walls. Cat, cat, cat. Said a small cat, meow. Ah, your questions are numerous, but inconsequential, for they miss the current crisis. Meow. Hi, Micah. I have concluded that I will never doubt your game recommendations again. I am intrigued by both ones that you suggested to me, and I was hesitant both times. Never again. Only trust now. What crisis? Why, the crisis wherein my dinner is late! Meow! It is so late, in fact, that I am not certain the concept of dinner isn't something I invented in a fugue of hunger. Meow! All other societal issues are mere trivialities in comparison to my plight. Purr. I can't purr, unfortunately. Please, stranger, might you fill my bowl, thus ending this ravenous standoff? A woman behind you laughed. Oh, don't listen to him. He's been fed twice today already. Typical cat. In return, I'm really glad you pointed out All Will Rise. I never would have found it on my own, and it looks cool as hell. Agreed, it's super cool. Next to you. Hold on. Are you seriously going to tell me about every individual conversation you had in excruciating detail? Yes. Yes, you are, because if he lets you proceed uninterrupted, he'll learn that many of these people played a part in what happened next. Fine, fine. I gotta talk to everybody. But I do like that they give you the option to skip, but we're talking to everybody. There appeared to be a seminar of some sort taking place in the courtyard. A seminar on magic. Dezo, thank you so much for the 90 months. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well today. If you understood the text on the blackboard correctly. So, okay, first you take a metaphor and then you stretch it really thin, right? Right. Like really thin, so thin you forgot its original purpose, and then you inflate it. Right, just inflate the metaphor. Well, I prefer to use my lungs for that. Then as it's inflating, you twist it like, hang on, like so. You still following? I think so. And hold on. Ta-da! There, it now resembles a dog, a delight for children and such. Ah, okay, so what happened to the metaphor? Well, it's a lovely little balloon dog now. I see. They seemed a bit busy, so you left them to it. That was weird. I feel like this game is intentionally a bit surreal. Said the woman, well, I'd love to tell you where we are, friend, but I haven't even figured out where we aren't. She gestured at the stack of maps on the table behind her. We're not in any of those places. Or at least we weren't. Who knows if that's true now that the tide has come in. You attempted another tactic, hoping to glean some information. Perhaps she could at least tell you the name of this place? Oh, we just call it the court. Its full name is the Court of... Oh, I forget. Something like the Court of Aluminum? But it's... Oh, aluminium, rather. But it starts with a T? The Court of... Tungsten? I don't know. Maybe. I'm new here and I'm bad with names, but at least I can give you mine. I'm Robin. She held out her hand, which you shook as you introduced yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should try to sort this out before the tide settles again. Said the man. Whoa, pal! Before you ask me any more questions, you gotta know my deal. My deal is that I can only answer questions you haven't asked. So, as to tell you where we are, no can do. Sorry, can't tell you. But what are we doing? Oh man, we are a court of fairies on a quest to find our missing queen. He looked to both sides, then said, so let me know if you see her. Just don't ask me where she is. Okay. What did the outside of the court look like from atop the walls? Let's go look. Finding no immediate answers inside the court, you moved to the top of the walls and looked outward. Hiya, Foxy. I hope you're doing well. Perhaps there was something you could see from this vantage that would shed more light on your situation. To the contrary, conditions outside the walls were even stranger than they were at the time of your arrival. Doing amazing. Glad to hear it. How are you? Not too bad. The rest of the shattered landscape had now melted away. The court stood alone amid a void. But not for long. Like a rush of water, new surroundings began to surround. Oh! Uh-oh. Looks like angry boys. Much of the new topography was familiar to you. You could identify fields, water, woods, and hills. But there was something else to see. A menacing group of other courts were also part of the landscape. You were not alone in noticing these courts. Someone shouted, "The war! The war! The war is here!" Someone else, "That can't be. Puck said no wars until we find the queen." Then perhaps he should explain that to them. Surrounded by the enemy on all sides and bereft of the obvious course of action, the people of the court began to pray. A man stepped forward and offered the first prayer. I genuinely wish no harm upon our enemy. I merely pray they would fade into obscurity. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that to work, but thanks. The woman named Robin offered the next prayer. My notes are quite clear on this. Prayer does not work. Our time is much better spent steering the court. Remember, their soldiers cannot cross water. We should try to take shelter behind a moat until the tide comes in. Okay. Why would I do this? Now that a river protects us from nearly half the field. Okay, but now we're next to this guy. Hills should also slow their advance. So for my next prayer... Well, the next prayer did not belong to Robin. The next prayer belonged to the cat. Meow! So long as we are making demands of God, then my wish as ever is to be fed. Psst, hey. You probably didn't notice, but something just happened over here. You're right, I didn't. What happened is, by matching fields, the court just acquired more food. Similarly, other parts of the battlefield can be matched to earn water, I assume lumber, or money? None of those fairies in the court will tell you this. Their religion forbids them from acknowledging the existence of the user interface. This game is so wild. But I am a secular tooltip. I fear no God. I will do my best to provide you with this vital information. You're welcome. Purr. Yes, more of that, please. All right. Oh no! Robin then bemoaned the loss of the moat, and we face even more of the enemy than before. Why must I bother? The scholars at the blackboard now chimed in. We've identified the most strategically sound location. This spot right here. If we steer over there carefully, well, we should be fine. Sitting pretty. Okay. But Robin interjected. Stop! Look at the clock. It's almost low tide. We have time left for only one more move. Hello again. So, the clock and the time left Robin alludes to is in fact this unassuming progress bar, the edge of your vision. Much like life, every move you make will deplete some of your remaining time. If we have only one prayer left, what do you suggest we ask for? We might as well pray for a miracle. Okay. Well, that's a start. Apologies, but another explanation from me. Your humble tooltip is in order. The previous move chained multiple matches together. Because of this, you've earned some bonus time. For the fairies of the court, this might as well be a miracle. Is there any chance we could do that again, whatever that was? But there was no such chance. The next prayer would be the last one. Incidentally, the next prayer also belonged to you. Unsure of what any of this really meant, you imitated the people around you and made a pointless decision. Cool. Let's make a pointless decision. I'm trying to make it matter. I don't think it does. What's that gonna do? Nothing. Oh. Match for money. Very slow to travel on foot, not flammable. Match for wood, slower to travel by foot, inflammable. Match for solitude, quick to travel on foot, a bit flammable. This game. Let's just get some money. The battlefield snapped together as the court snapped to attention. Places everyone. Windows were shuttered, doors were slammed, large swaths of people emerged from further inside and formed a line near the gates. A tap on your shoulder. One of the scholars. We could use some help in the dressing room if you have a free hand. Along with the scholars introduced to you as Hop and Skip, you sorted through a large pile of costumes, props, and weapons. Check the tag on that, would you? Make sure I put it together properly. Okay. Farmer working fairy gathers food from fields. If it looks correct, feel free to hand it out. You handed the bundle of farmer's apparel to the first person in line. Unperturbed by the idea of harvesting wheat in the middle of a battle, they whistled as they marched out the front gate. Oh no. Now do it again. Deploy another farmer. Okay. Now, see if this one fits anybody. Soldier offensive fairy attacks the enemy. You handed a bundle of armor and weapons to the next person in line. She tested the weight of the weapon in her hand. I haven't received any training, so I'm just planning to hit anything that doesn't belong to us. Sounds good. After this minimal preparation, the scholars considered their work finished. I'd place our chances of survival somewhere near abysmal, but I'm afraid this is the best we can do. A small mercy, at least, that the queen isn't here to witness this. And so you waited with the others for the battle to commence. Hello, I must pester you once more before I take my leave. Observe, this is the undo button. Use it to change your mind as many times as you wish before starting the battle. However, the official editorial position of this tooltip is that you are liable to lose no matter how many times you change your mind presently. When you are ready to lose, press the play button to proceed the battle. Now I will leave you in peace. Thank you, tooltip. Let's just go. Oh, but should you ever desire the company of your loyal tooltip, all you need to do is click and hold over any button or tile, and I will do my best to explain it to you. Press this button when you're prepared to die. It's the undo button. Voted most valuable button 22 years running. I can deploy one more soldier. Now let's die. Oof. Dead. Okay. And then, sometime later, as the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. The man to your right is beside himself with laughter. Okay, so our court, caught off guard by a sudden war, stumbled behind enemy lines, made a token attempt at resistance, and was summarily toppled. Do I have that right? Yes, that does appear to be an accurate summary. Well then, I'm certainly glad I slept through that. As you look at your surroundings, a switch flips in your mind. Your own story makes little sense now that you think on it. How did you... Your companion pats your arm. Don't worry about it. If our court couldn't withstand physical destruction, we wouldn't last 5 minutes within the pull of the tide. But enough of that. It's about time I made some introductions. As you've narrowly avoided learning, this place is called Titanium Court. Meanwhile, I have the honor of being the steward of the court. My name is Puck, although my lovers and enemies call me Goodfellow. Of course you're Puck. I am chief advisor and friend eternal to our fair queen. As fancy as that sounds, in practice it means he's unemployed. One of the scholars, a man named Hop, has approached your table. He appears to have had a drink or two, or 4. He pulls up a seat between the two of you and assumes a jovial posture. Guess the queen stood us up, eh? Good fellow? Lucky for her, I'd say. I'd skip town too if I knew what a sorry showing the court would make. At least 4, yes. But on the plus side, we can continue draining her wine cellar. Now, are you going to help me with that, good fellow? Or are you just going to stare at me? I don't mind either way. Puck, staring at the scholar, mouth agape, slowly inhales and pinches his nose. What fools these... How drunk are you, Hop? The queen is right here. I've been speaking to her for the entire feast. Oh, I'm the queen, I guess. Should have seen this coming. An excited hush falls over the entire hall. Hop blinks, looks at you, looks at Puck, turns bright red. Oh, because we're the understudy and we don't know our lines and we're playing the Queen of the Fairies. This makes perfect sense. Oh, I see it now. That calls for Her Majesty's finest vintage. I'll be right back. As Hop makes a quick exit, you look steadily at Puck and shake your head. Well, there's no use denying it now. Not after the tale you told me. If you'd like more proof, just take a look at where you're seated. You slowly take in your surroundings. I'm not that surprised, but I am a little surprised. Puck smiles. Now, if I may conclude my introductions, let me introduce the court to your majesty, and likewise. He stands up and addresses the entire hall as he says, long absent, the Queen of Titanium Court, always a stranger, has arrived. Cheers erupt and dessert is served. To your left, Hop returned with an armful of glasses and bottles. And about time, too, good fellow. Did you tell her about the war yet? Chapter 1, a place beloved only of clowns and criminals. It's so silly. I'm very much enjoying it. And then, just a short while after the feast, the court returns to war. Of course. You're in charge of the war now, Your Majesty. You should be fine. Just remember everything we've taught you about magical warfare. Blinking slowly, you remind them that, at this exact moment, they have taught you roughly nothing about magical warfare. Hi, Corey. I think you'd like this game. If for nothing else, because it's about, apparently, being, like, the Titanium Court is a fairy court, and I think you'd appreciate that. It's also very silly. Good. She remembers quite clearly. High tide. When the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. So, gosh, it is in part a match 3 game, in part Fey nonsense, and in part a research man. Yeah, it's so good. Hi, yeah, okay, no, welcome on in. I also, like, at a glance, I was like, match 3, pixel graphics, I don't know. And then I downloaded it and I started playing it, and then I immediately closed out of it so I could stream it. And I'm just like, no, this is good. This is great. It's very funny, very silly, like nonsensical, well written, clever, and also, so it has the match 3 mechanics, and then it has sort of like research management, try not to die to your enemies mechanics. Oh no, they've got a knight warrior. But let's start getting rid of some of our enemies. What is this? A stump? A seat announcing new beginnings. The soapbox of the natural world. Okay, I don't know what stump does for me. Yeah, it's really wild and it's really fun. I will say this. I feel like I haven't had much gameplay so far, but that's okay. I've been having a lot more story than actual game, it feels like. Ooh, get out of here. Well, if I do this and then this, I can get rid of these guys. Oh no! Low tide. Make preparations for the coming battle. Unfortunately, we are nearer to enemies than I would have liked. Consult the ever-changing map? You don't know what any of this means. It's true, I don't. Okay, well, we may as well put out farmers. Oh, actually, I don't think there's any reason because there's nothing to farm here, I don't think. So we can put out these guys. I guess we'll put out like 2 farmers and just see if they can get anything. Oh, they're going off to the fields. Okay. Oh, I'm winning. I'm winning. Because nothing else is attacking me. I did it. Well. Soundtrack is so good. I feel like I'm not hearing most of it. Maybe I just have the game too quiet. Having now achieved some kind of victory in the war, you wonder if someone in the court might help you return home. It would be our pleasure if you can show us the way. Also, that was only one battle. There are many more to come if my notes are to be trusted. Okay, well, even if you understand this map correctly, even if it is a map, there appears to be some sort of signage just ahead. Oh yeah, there's signage right there. Okay. Perhaps if you can reach those signs, you'll learn more about where you actually are along with how to get home. And to reach them, we need merely be swept forward by the tide, as we have been all along. Convenient! So we have to successfully get more... we basically need to survive more battles, is what I'm getting from this. All right, let's see. When I do that, we're going to have a neighbor with a soldier, and I don't want that. I'm trying to figure out how can I just murder this castle. Oh, what's this? Storage unit. It looks a lot like ones you've rented in the past. I could waste 2 turns going up here and then swap this guy here and get rid of this entire line, which honestly I think might be worth it. Hi, Natramiel. Yep, we're playing more Next Fest demos. Hi, Ollie. Oh gosh, this one's wild. They've been going very well though. There's so many good demos for this this round of Next Fest. I think I ended up putting like 30 or more on my to playlist, and I have streamed less than 10 of them, and they've all been very good so far. This one is called Titanium Court, where you are in a fairy court, and it's a combination of like a match 3 puzzle game and sort of like a strategic battle game. We're in the battle part of the game now. You are quite curious about what you might find inside the storage unit. Also, it's very funny and very silly. Like, it's very intentionally kind of like whimsical and goofy. Vampire Crawlers is so good. I won't play more of that one. I have a few games, a few demos that I wasn't able to finish on stream, or did finish but they're replayable like that I have not yet uninstalled. Most of them have gotten uninstalled when I finish them. Vampire Crawlers is not on that list. Vampire Crawlers, want to play more of that. But it's locked. Oh. Okay. Well, we are gonna need... Oh, we can only get 1. Oh no. Why can we only do 1? Oh, we are out of bread. Okay, so we're gonna need... Let's just do all of these guys then. Get as much as we can. Yeah, let's just try not to die. Oh, this is gonna be close. We're taking so much damage. I hope we can heal. Oh, we got pumpkins. While the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. Ah, yes, that's what I've been trying to do. Periidolic pumpkin. A plant possessing a friendly false face. Okay, well then. I need water. I also want to get rid of these guys, but I don't quite know how. Oh, I'm in a bad position right now. Get away from them, I think. Okay, so we need to have, we're gonna have 2 farmers, and then we're gonna have, we'll just do 4 knights, because we got a lot of castles around us that are gonna want to murder us. murdered! Oh gosh, we're so almost dead. How do we heal our castle? A menacing bird cage suddenly appears in front of the court. Your Majesty, I have notes on this foe. Let me know if you'd like to see them. I mean, what's this? Robin has notes on the birdcage behaves in battle. Right, here's what my notes say. First, at the start of low tide, the birdcage will flood its surrounding with water. Following that, the birdcage will attack the court with birds. Fighting it may prove tricky. If it always is surrounded by water, the court soldiers will be unable to reach it. You agree. You wonder if there's another approach the court should take. I think it's avoid it. Either way, you thank Robin for the information. Wait, aren't some of those enemy courts empty? You've noticed a subtle difference between some of the enemy courts on the battle map. While many enemy courts have soldiers prominently stationed outside their gates, there are also plenty of them that appear completely empty. You think you can maybe assume that these empty ones will not attack the court during the coming battle. Yes, you can assume that. Additionally, you can see when enemy soldiers will attack the court over here on the timeline. Oh, that's what that means. Even soldiers might be no threat if you can deal with their courts before they attack. I'm not confident. Okay, I really need hills, so we're gonna do this. I have plenty of bread, so I don't think I have to worry about farmers right now. Your Majesty, look, there is a chest resting on that patch of land. We should be able to recover its contents as long as we remain in sight until low tide. So don't clear that. Oh, that's so many birds! Jeez. Okay, I have a couple more moves I can do. Oh, okay, there's a couple of chests here. Let's clear these guys. Dang it. Oh, we can get rid of you. Our resources look pretty good. So I just need to be super careful about what I clear for this last one. Just do that. And we're just gonna hope that the birds don't do anything to us. As low tide begins, the birdcage surrounds itself with a moat. Gather all manner of trinkets, treasures, trifles, and toys. Yes. What do we get? A gunboat. Ooh. Okay. A miner. Working fairy gathers rocks from the hills. I want to get that. A bird. An offensive winged fairy unhindered by terrain. I think... Is that like my bird? I think I'm going to get a bird. I'm going to get the miner. And then, you know, I'm just get it all. Yeah, why not? In theory, if we had enough water, we could use the gunboat. But I think what we're probably going to do is just, Do I want... Not sure. So I think we want to do some of these guys. We definitely need a couple of these guys. Also get a couple birds. And we're just gonna pray. Oh, they come straight for me. Great. With time and repetition comes comfort. You feel your maximum level of comfort increase to 1. I don't know what that means. On the next morning, you awake in a strange bed. The bed is strange not just because it is not your usual bed, but because it is also not the bed you fell asleep in. Puck told you any room within the court might be the Queen's, so you parted with him at the first room you found that wasn't already occupied. A small chamber beneath a staircase, a twin-sized bed neighbored by a nightstand and a lamp, a small desk in the corner, no windows. Meanwhile, the bed you awake in is queen-sized and contained within a spacious chamber that opens onto a balcony. The balcony overlooks the courtyard of your new home. You appear to be roughly 5 stories above the ground. You're in your bed chambers. What should you do? Sure. You look over the scant possessions that were on your person when you arrived at the court. Everything appears to be where you left it, with one irritating exception. Sometime between your arrival and now, you have managed to misplace your keys. In a way, you suppose you also managed to misplace the locks those keys are intended for. A mystery, admittedly, of a much greater concern to you than the missing keys. And there's lots of places we could go to the courtyard. Wait, there's a man named Puck. You have a lot to say to him. The man named Puck is just across the courtyard. Perfect. You have many things you wish to ask him. Yet, as you draw near, he quickly exits the scene. You might be imagining it, but he appeared to retreat the moment he saw your approach. What you do in the dining hall? Let's get breakfast. In the light of day, the feasting hall more closely resembles a common dining area. You collect some breakfast from a buffet, then seek a table. You would prefer to sit somewhere out of the way, near an exit, ideally hidden. You sit in the most nondescript location you can find, a corner near a trash bin. Before you've finished a bite, a whole host of fairy courtiers arrive with their meals and sit with you. They make idle conversation and a few honest attempts at answering your myriad of questions, none of them successful. As you complete your meal, you idly note that your table is now the most lively and boisterous table within the hall. Of course it is. You also note idly that despite his assurances that he would answer all your questions, the man called Puck remains nowhere to be seen. As a result of eating breakfast, you get a small bonus. You got 10 bread. All right, we can look out the window, go to war. Look out the window. There are some dogs catching frisbees in the courtyard just out of frame. Dog! 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 Wicked dogs. Neat. All right, let's go to war. What else are we gonna do? We gotta go to war. After breakfast, the court goes to war. And as you ready yourself, a question. Your Majesty, is the intensity of the war to your liking? If not, feel free to adjust the thermostat. I'm guessing make the difficulty. We can adjust the difficulty. Maybe make things a little easier on yourself. And because we gain comfort, we can adjust the thermostat by 1, I guess. With her calculator returned to her, Robin can give you a detailed... Oh, wait, no, these aren't difficulty sliders. These are upgrades. Decrease shop prices by 25%. Start with extra 10 bread. Start with extra 10 coin. Yeah, we'll get more health. Despite falling short of them yesterday, you're confident you can reach those signs today. Very good, Her Majesty's loyalty to this approach is quite admirable. How steadfast. All right, I think this is where we're going to end covering this demo, but this is great. It's a really interesting twist on a match 3 game, and I'm very intrigued by it. I will probably play more of this off stream. So if you think this game is neat, please go check out Titanium Court. It's real fun. Put it on your wish list. It's real good.